Hey, nerds! Welcome to another episode of the Spirited Nerds podcast where we lost David real quick.
Should we stop real quick or?
David's back! Yay!
I feel like that's going to happen a few more times, so it's just.
We'll roll with it.
We'll just keep going.
Yeah. So we're gonna roll with it. Hey, nerds!
Like
Absolutely. Let's start again. Hey, nerds! Welcome to another episode of Spirited Nerds podcast. We have the full house tonight. I, Shauna, am joined by Mariah, Denise, and David. And we are going to talk about the thing that really brings us all here whenever we can to talk. And that thing today is our fandoms. We're here to talk about the history of fandoms, how we engage with fandoms. Are fandoms good? Are fandoms bad? I don't know. I don't know if any of us ever have a solid answer for any of these questions, but we're gonna get. But as always, we do have to begin the night talking about what we're drinking. So, Denise, trying something new tonight. Tell me what it is.
So I'm trying to finish off the rest of the gin that I have. So I'm playing. I have gin that I need to get through. Yeah. So I went to the liquor store and I found this, what I thought was this blood orange agave. So I was like, oh, it's a blood orange agave sweetener. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put the gin in there. I'm going to mix it up and I'm going to drink it. No, this is a fruit concentrate by somebody named Barmalade. And not only is it not a blood orange agave, it's blood orange guava. I completely read the label wrong. It's like, it's pretty thick. You throw it in there with your drink and your citrus of choice and you shake it up and it's thick. And I took a few sips. It's okay. But at the end of the day, it's a gin drink. So I don't know how far I'll get with it. So as a backup, I have a Vienna Lager by Devil's Backbone.
There you go.
So nice. We're going to start with the gin, and we're probably going to transition at some point into the
wait.
Yeah. I try to make it work. I can't make gin work. I'm trying. It's not happening. So
look, you're trying something new, but misreading the label, that's a grave mistake when it comes to gin. Gin is so floral. And it's got such a strong flavor. The mix is important.
No, I didn't misread the gin label. I misread the mixer.
Yeah, I know.
I was trying to hide the gin. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. No, gin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gave it a shot. Good job. What do you got?
Tried.
So I've got the tried and true Buzz Balls, the Choco Chiller. That's my go-to flavor. It's better than the other ones. They had an espresso martini and a cranberry, and I almost went for
said so what kind of chiller?
Huh?
You said is what kind of chiller?
Choco Chiller. So it's kind of like, okay. I think I said this last time. It's an orange wine with cream. So I don't
understand what that means.
Like amaretto.
Orange
I think
wine.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is the best flavor.
And that doesn't concern you?
No.
Okay.
No.
That it's not a real flavor?
Orange wine. I feel like we've been drinking wine for a very long time, and we know that it's red or it's white.
I'm going to look into it. I'm going to make a note. Orange wine.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you want to do that while you're drinking it. I'd wait.
Well, yeah, now she's got.
Oh, yeah.
All right, David, what do you got?
So I'm also drinking a Buzz Ball. I am drinking a strawberry Rita. I've never had them before. I tried it last time and it was pretty not up my alley. So I'm gonna try this new one, see how that works. And if it doesn't, then I have a lemon White Claw. So.
Was it good? Did you try it?
No, I haven't tried it yet. I was
You
just
gotta
gonna
try
let
it
it
now.
On the air live.
Yeah, live taste.
Live sip.
test.
Yeah, they want you to take a sip.
That's a no.
Oh no,
Who?
it's a hard no.
Like,
Okay.
I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to like. Who is this drink made for?
Mm-mm.
Because I know this is a
Mariah.
woman-owned company. It's like a women-run company.
Yes, it is. I don't know. I mean, Choco Chiller is the one flavor that they got right.
Mm-mm.
But the lime Rita was good too. I did not hate it.
The thing about these are, because okay, so I also have a buzz
Are
ball.
you are these meant?
That's what I'm saying. Who's
I think
Oh,
they're meant
no.
to be mixed,
Who's
like
the
not.
Are
audience?
these, meant, these are not meant to drink straight. They can't be.
Yeah,
That's how they sell them on Spirit.
It's
Straight buzzball.
no.
It also says-
It says fucking drink it out of the can.
it also says shake well. Did you shake well, David?
I did more than once.
Dang.
Mm-mm.
So here's
That
the
tasted
thing.
like shit. That was
Oh.
terrible. Thick shit. Just
The marmalade is covering the gin very nicely, so I think
Oh,
I will
good.
get through my whole marmalade. Yeah.
Well, I
It
have
might
a
be good if you mix it with your lemon lime seltzer.
Yeah, really pour it
She
on.
wants you to mix your brewery.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
you want me to
100%.
mix the buzzball with my White Claw?
Yeah.
Yes. Now I need.
But then I lose
But then you lose your.
my
Just
White
a
Claw.
little bit, like a sip and then a sip. Mix it around your mouth.
He has to go to work in the morning.
Just a truly.
Swear to God.
He's regret.
You got to start with the
Right now.
buzzball and then chase it with the.
I
Yeah,
can't-
yeah. Buzzball first.
Start with the buzzball. That can't happen.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's
truly
do it.
first.
Whatever you gotta do.
Lemon, truly,
Truly.
and strawberry Rita.
I think he already swallowed the truly though, so. Yeah, no, maybe. He likes it.
Fucking good.
That's
He likes
good.
it.
But I was really fucking good. That's what it is. You have to mix it with something else.
Mix it with a seltzer.
There you go.
That's
So
funny.
I have the
That-
tequila Rita, and I actually am having a great time with it. So there you go. Well,
Buzzballs, if you're watching, you need to advertise better.
Do we get
partner
the
with
drink
Truly.
Brian?
She was wearing like strawberry lipstick, and I got a little bit of it on me. Like it's real faint but pleasant. That is great. Yeah.
there you go.
That's a big turn of events from just about 30
That
seconds
really-
ago when you spit it out. So
That was a hard left turn. We have a whole new
Well, now I
chat
gotta
right
do-
now.
I spit in the one cup I had. All right.
Look, the thing is, Janice, to answer your question, I think that this is marketed to people that are going to throw this little thing in their purse and get a real high alcohol by content, like little cocktail. These are 15%. They're not
yeah,
nothing.
these are not meant to be sipped. This is just meant to drink and get on your way
But,
out
like,
to whatever you're gonna do.
I can just put this in my coat pocket after I bought it. I just popped it in my little pocket and off I went. So portable, high alcohol. That's who it's made for. So me and Mariah
Mhm.
and David. Now I'm so happy.
Denise,
Mhm.
this is probably gonna be my whole summer.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm gonna be a problem.
You're gonna be moving down the James River,
Oh man.
double fisting buzzballs and white claws,
Buzzballs, you're listening.
like you're a 45-year-old woman.
Oh man.
wow.
All right, got it.
Wow. I
Got
don't
it.
think we should probably just call it. We're not gonna get like anything more shocking than the turn of events we've just had on this episode. There he
Wow.
goes, just loving life and mixing his.
It's so
White Claws and-
inconvenient, but it's so good. I don't mind doing it.
Wow.
Mar-
Okay.
I don't know who you are.
Here's
anymore.
here's the moral that we already knew, and that's always trust Mariah when it comes to drinks. Mariah is our
Let me
bartender.
just say, I think I mentioned this last time. They don't pay attention to me in the group text because I'm pretty sure I suggested this.
But no,
Turned
to be
down.
fair, I saw those texts. I didn't believe you.
So
At that point, I just figured, no, our taste buds are just different. So
nope, it's just good.
And I just googled orange wine is a thing. Apparently,
we can't spend more time on this.
White wine grapes where the grape skins are not removed.
Oh,
so is that? I'll look later, but it's definitely amaretto. That's what's happening in this ball here.
I mean, amaretto's a nice mixer too, so not mad about that.
Okay.
And according to Bon Appetit, it is popular right now.
Buzzballs?
No, the fuck Buzzballs.
Orange wine?
Yes.
I thought the same thing.
Okay.
I mean, fuck, unless they give us something. Otherwise, fuck Buzzball.
No, Mariah's not getting the sponsorships. It's gonna happen. She manifests. I don't know if you know Mariah, but she manifests shit.
Not that.
It's gonna happen.
Fuck Buzzballs like 4 times. I don't think that's happening.
I can edit it out. I'm just
that's
saying.
out the car.
That's not what I was talking about.
All right. So, fandoms. Obviously what we're here to talk about. All right. So, when we were talking about this episode, thing I kind of wanted to clarify before we really jump into it is the difference between a fan and a fandom, right? You can be a fan of something without being in a fandom, and that's really the difference. So, Mike, my husband, the Star Wars fan, he in looking for Star Wars trivia, he does not about Star Wars. He did not have a Star Wars shirt until I found out that he liked Star Wars, and I bought him. He's a fan of Star Wars. He is not in the Star Wars fandom. When we sit down and watch Mandalorian or whatever for whatever Star Wars thing that we're watching, I'm the one that's telling him I learned from our Star Wars fandom. So that's kind of down version of it. And the very brief history of fandom. It didn't start on Tumblr. It's older than that, but the story that I'm choosing to tell on the podcast, apparently when Sherlock Holmes came about, people had get-togethers and they wrote stories Sherlock as though they were Dr. Watson. They wrote to Sir Arthur Conan. And when Sherlock died, they had a whole get together, bring Sherlock back. They would have clubs where they would read these stories and really go. Origin of fandom to share is because I was on the internet during the super hulock, just feral fangirl era of Tumblr. Denise is so confused. Remember? Nonsense. Let's be honest. This is what I'm talking about. Super hulock. Does it?
Yeah.
About Mariah?
No.
Okay, so in the early ages of the internet, Tumblr was the thing where all the fangirls would get on and they would create stories and theories and get together. And Super Hulock were these 3 fandoms of Supernatural, Doctor Who, the newer ones, and Sherlock, the BBC Sherlock. So the old Sherlock and the new Sherlock, I just thought that was super cute and I wanted to share with everybody because back in the day we might have said that they were rabid fans, but now I guess we would say that they're feral, as the kids would say. They were feral for these fandoms. They were very, very vocal, very creative, and they lived, ate, breathed these fandoms. So that's my fandoms. David, you were giggling the whole time.
Described fandoms. I can't say that I'm in a fandom.
I told you.
I don't think I've ever written a story a story or gone that hard for something.
There was a good 15 seconds when you started talking that I knew in my heart Sherlock Holmes was a real person. And I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? This nigga going to their houses and they're having meet and greets with this nigga. And I was like, wait a second.
He's not real.
He's not real.
It's not
He's
real.
He's a fictional character.
That's what I was laughing about. I saw you trying to figure out why I was laughing. I couldn't stop.
I was.
No.
The first time. The second time I knew why you were laughing. First time. I was like, what's he laughing at?
Well, here we are. That's
So
my
here we
super
are.
brief. This is my super brief history of fandom.
Yes.
So, the first question that I want to ask you all is, with everything I've just said in mind, what were your first fandoms, and why is the answer sports team of some kind? Because that is definitely going to be the answers.
Mine was not a sports team.
No?
People joke about it on the internet nowadays where they're basically like being a sports fan is the dumbest thing you can ever do because sports it's stressful. It's fun as long as your team is winning. It's a great time. Or as long as you are just a casual watcher and you don't have a team that you're like if you're just casually watching it. Like right now, the NCAA tournament. I don't have a team that I'm cheering for. I didn't go to any of those schools. I'm just watching the games. I'm having a grand time. There are people losing their minds over these games.
Yeah.
They lose their minds. So for me growing up and seeing sports and how everyone in my house who were true sports fans of the now Commanders, then another name, teams like that, I'd see how angry they got. And I was like, who would do that to themselves? And I didn't. So sports was not my first fandom. My first fandom where I sent a little membership into the mail and got into an official fan club. I had the sheets. I watched the cartoon. Like I was a fan of New Kids on the Block. That was my first fandom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
I can't tell you any of their names now, and if they walk down the street, I wouldn't even be able to recognize any of them. But my first fandom was New Kids on the Block. Everything about them, they got me with that whole you can be a part of this group, of this elite group. So me and two other girls from around the way, we joined the fan club.
Do you remember
we had our own little meetings on the street corners?
Oh my god, I love this so much.
Just the three of us.
Do
We
you
talked
remember
about whatever was new. We sang the songs, and if anyone else wanted to be a part of our club, they had to sing a song that was their initiation.
What? I love this. And do you remember the army of New Kids on the Block fans? Were you like the blockers or something? And KOTBs?
That's the thing. I don't even I feel like this whole naming fans is new.
Yeah.
We were in the New Kids on the NKOTB fan club.
NKOTB.
That's all it was. So that was my first fandom. Thank God that did not last very long. Thank God I found comic books and I found something else to spend my time with. But
I was right there with you, but with Backstreet Boys, that was one of not my first fandom, but definitely my first like manic 100%. How about you two? Mariah, David? What about you? First fandoms?
Well, I was going to say SpongeBob, but then you bringing up an artist, it was definitely TLC or like Spice Girls. I remember in my neighborhood, it was TLC. And we would get together. It was me and the two other neighbor girls. We sing the songs. Yeah, we perform out in the street corner. Like we're doing the show. We listen to the CD. Like it was a whole like
sleepovers. You did the choreography.
Exactly. Yep. All of it. That and then Destiny's Child. That was another one. I think the girl groups, the Spice Girls, TLC, Destiny's Child. Like, those were probably the first like fandoms at a young age with like the neighbor girls, the girls I went to daycare with. Like we got into groups, learned the moves. Sang the songs, performed them for everybody. Yeah. Definitely going to be a girls group for sure.
Amazing. David, how about you?
Nah, man. I've been everything that I have an interest in, I've been pretty chill about. I don't know if I've ever really gone the slightest bit to overboard on anything. And like I said, I'm like socially, I'm an introvert, so I don't really go looking for other people to talk to anyway. Like I was talking to you earlier about it. Like I'm a huge Eagles fan, but like if I'm going to the store, I'll take my jersey off just so I don't have to do Eagles shit with other people because I hate doing it. and they're so passionate about it, and I fucking love that. I just wish like two other ones saw each other and I could see that. That'd be real cool, but I don't ever want to be involved in it.
Nothing you like went down the rabbit hole for, like even like maybe nowish, maybe not when you were younger, but like something now that you're like super into.
The closest thing I ever went like down a rabbit hole on was bring Mumia Abu Jamal when I was younger, when I thought that was possible. That man, I mean, he's doing his time, and I think that was the first time I've ever like taken time out of my life to really like get into something. And I wrote him letters and stuff like that, but again, there was a whole community trying to like organize all this stuff, and I was just like, nah, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'll just do it by myself.
Well, you did it in your own way.
You did.
So that count. Mm-hmm.
I get that.
Yeah, I mean, I see like fandom as like a big part of it is like the whole community aspect of it, and
it is. Yeah. I think that's it. It's not necessarily that you go absolutely bananas, but it's the community piece of it for sure. And I mean, literally this morning, so we're recording, it's the Padres' first game of the season. So literally this morning, baby Penny getting ready for school, daycare. And Mike is in there going, which Padre shirt do you want to wear? Because I've been
I know that's right.
I don't care for the Padres, but I support that she is. So I buy the jerseys. This is the thing. Mike does not buy her jerseys. I will buy her jerseys, but then he is so proud to put her in them. And then Penny's going, is mommy's going to wear Padres? And daddy's going, no, this is just a Daddy Penny thing. We love the Padres. And I'm in the other room and I'm like, you're right. I'm not going to say go Padres, but is really loving this. And tomorrow or Saturday or whenever the Aztec game is, she also has 2 Aztec jerseys because of me, so that he can dress her up and parade her around and say like, go Aztecs with dad. So it's like, this is for her. This will be her first fandoms will be sports. And, you know, in my house too, sports were always a big thing. But I think for me, like if I'm thinking about like the first fandoms that I like really tried to engage with, like the Backstreet Boys or Spice Girls was still big when I was like in elementary school. I Disney, but I didn't reach out to other kids about Disney. But you know what I did? You know where a lot of kids got together? Power Rangers. So if we're talking about community, probably something like Power Rangers was the first like part of, which looking back is kind of strange, but that was the first. We all played Power Rangers and we all knew our parts, you know?
Yeah.
So
I would say also Pokemon.
Who did you play?
I have a booklet, like the binder full of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Like that, I remember that being like a very huge thing in elementary. Everyone traded, brought the cards like all day long in classes. Yeah, Pokemon definitely was a huge, at least in school, being able to trade and talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's just so different than now, where there's, you know, more social media and more ways to connect through the internet. Back then it was really, the community was the elementary school or like the kids in your neighborhood. Like that was the fandom community. There was no like computer to get on and talk to people really at that time. So
must have been nice, because I went to Catholic school, so can't bring fandoms
Public.
into there. If the fandom isn't Jesus, couldn't bring it in. But Sean, David asked a very important question. Which Power Ranger were you?
Oh, I was the pink.
Oh,
I was the Pink Ranger.
I was going to say, did they let you spread your wings at all, or did they put you in a box?
I was the Pink Ranger. I was Ginger Spice. Yeah, no. Also, I'm from a very small white town, so there was only so many parts we could play.
I couldn't have been the Black Ranger every time. I couldn't have done it.
But you know,
I get it once, damn it.
Playing the long game though, he's probably done better than the rest of the Rangers long term.
Yeah,
he did
he's
well.
Gonna be at the convention in June. He's gonna be an awesome con.
Yeah, he's doing well. So yeah, those are some of our first pre-internet fandoms.
It's funny
Yeah.
now that I think about it though, because again, I went to Catholic school, so I can't bring a fandom into school. There's no fandom into school, and we lived in the hood. So the fact that I found two other girls in my neighborhood in the hood to be in the New Kids on the Block fan club with me just goes to show at that all you needed to do was just the gimmick was just call it a club and you felt like you were part of this connection
Yeah.
with people all across the country.
Yeah.
And they mailed you something back and you had something you could hang up and you could call yourself a part of this. That was it. As long as you could do that, like you had us as a child. You had me as a kid. New Kids on the fucking Block.
I love that.
Wow.
And also, I love that I was wrong. I really thought it was going to be sports, but I guess that's mostly how I am indoctrinating my own daughter. Sorry, Penny. Sorry, future Penny.
Wonderful. Yeah.
The Padres at that.
Oof.
Look, we can't get into it. If Mike listens to this, I'm going to hurt his feelings. So
Yeah. Probably not before that, but
well, so the other thing that I was looking at when I was looking up fans and some things that kind of came up were this idea that there are kind of two types of fans. There are transformative fans and there are curatorial fans. And so a very brief kind of rundown of what that would be is a transformative fan are those fans who are like writing. I myself have like knitted some Harry Potter scarves and things. So those fans that take the fandom that they love and they kind of create their own things about them. And curatorial fans are the collectors. They might collect things. They might collect facts, like those people that know all of the behind the scenes stuff. When you watch a movie with them, there's always like little extra tidbits. I definitely kind of ride the line between the two. I love collecting like the behind the scenes facts, but I also like to create items that I love. But I wanted to bring this up specifically because Mariah, you this collector of things that I know in terms of fandom. So I wanted you to kind of tell us about why this route and what do you love to collect and how do you get into it and what should you look for? Like, that piece of fandom to me is a little bit foreign.
I think there are like people who like to collect the items that they like, and then there's like the completists who need every single thing ever related to that topic. Definitely not a completist. I like to get the things that I like. So like SpongeBob, for instance, I have a lot of SpongeBob Funkos or figurines or toys or pillows or plushes, but I just get the ones that I like. I don't need to have every single collection of everything that's ever come out. I think the only one that I've probably right now getting close to collecting everything is 100% Soft. So the artist who does Dumpster Fires, I have 39 of them. I've 43 total, 39 are dumpsters. The other ones are like these other figures that they've done. But I have almost all of them. And I'm in a Discord as well, so I participate there. But it's just fun. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to chat with people through the Discord, and then collecting wise, I just like them. I love to see them. I love to display them. It just makes you happy to walk in and see all your collection of stuff.
What do y'all talk about?
Huh?
In the Discord, like what do y'all talk about? Like y'all talk about the dumpster fires, or is there other stuff y'all talk about? Or?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different categories. There's like they have like a general category where people are mostly talking about like new releases or what's coming next, things like that. Or because he does a lot of giveaways, so the artist does a lot of giveaways within the Discord. He's also making a game right now, so people are chatting about the game. But then there's a lot of other like subject lines for just chit chat, if you have suggestions, buying and selling, trading, things like that. So there's a lot of other things happening, but a lot of it is just around like maybe what's coming next, shows that he's going to be at. So what I like about this Discord more than some of the other ones I'm in, the artist actually participates a lot. Like he's in there, he's chatting, he'll do some Twitch live events where we'll do a bunch of like Q&As and we'll ask him questions and things like that. So it's really like a nice place to connect with other collectors. And then when we go to the shows, then I can meet some of those people that I've met in the Discord as well. So it's a nice little community, just like aspect about it. People loving what you love.
Did he ever find his cat?
He did find his cat. Yeah,
Good.
he lost it around like New Year's, I think.
Yeah.
Christmas. It was gone for a while. Yeah, no, they found
So
it.
he has a very famous cat. So if you watch BoJack Horseman, his cat, like they made a character based off of his cat. I think it was Admiral Whiskers.
Admiral Whiskers,
It
yeah.
had the one that had like the 2 dark spots. That's based off of his cat, and he lost his cat.
Oh shit!
Earlier this year, yeah, it was like a week or two. Maybe he was gone. Maybe longer.
Yeah, it was a while. It was a really long time. He's also so in She-Hulk, the Avengers. Those are his designs. So he does all the Avengers merch and stuff. So he collaborates a lot with Marvel and Disney and as well. So a lot of the pins and little mini emojis and things he does on the side from the dumpsters.
Mondo. I have a really good Mondo poster for him. Die Hard, David, the one that's in my house, like where it's every Die Hard scene in one poster. He does a few of those where he'll do a movie and he'll have every scene from the movie in this one poster.
Yeah, but they just like cut Mondo, so he just did a huge like giveaway and a bunch of sales for all their stuff because there's gonna be no more Mondo.
Which they but they said today that that's not true. So
I don't know.
They said if anything, they're going to release more posters, so they're not so ultra limited. Which I feel like is just a knee jerk reaction. Everybody's saying go fuck yourself because you fired all the heads of the poster division to the point where they were like, yeah, man, we all lost our fucking jobs. The poster division's dissolved. So then they come back and say, oh, what? No, that's not the case. Actually, they misheard. We doubled it. No, come on, something. But you got caught bullshit, and that's fine. I'm glad that peer pressure worked, but don't make it seem like everybody just had it
crazy or we're crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. You fired guys everybody loved in the poster division because your plan was to expand. What?
Yeah, not adding up. Denise, David, how about you? If you had to kind of say I like to collect versus I like to create, where spectrum do you think you'd fall? Because we're gonna call it a spectrum because you honestly you could do both. I do both.
I am a couple. My bad. I thought you said me.
She said David, Denise. She didn't really say one person, but you go ahead.
I didn't.
I'm taking some of my drink. I need to finish
this. I'm a collector. I don't. I'm not like artistically gifted. I can't draw or create shit. I suck at it. But I enjoy collecting mostly action figures. I collect a lot of random comic books. Like I don't really like enjoy just finding a series. I'll do a lot of collecting just ones where like, okay, this cover's cool, or I want to finish this story and I didn't get a chance to before. So not a completionist by any means.
Right on time.
Yeah.
Right on time.
Every time, yeah.
That guy. Or girl, I don't know. Somebody's obnoxious. Not you, David. Please continue.
No, that was it. Like I remember like what was it, last year, a couple years ago, like right in the middle of the pandemic, Mondo released that Wolverine run, the 1/6 scale with all the face stuff. That was my first time I've ever actually tried to like get something like that. I mean, of course I got it because it was so wildly expensive, nobody really chased it, but stuff like that, like it wasn't a set. I wasn't trying to get it as opposed to anything else. I just kind of woke up one day and said, yeah, I kind of want this, and spent
half I think off that, like I love the rush of like, okay, 10 a.m. is the drop, you got your phones ready, you're getting ready to buy it and stuff. Like I love the rush and the excitement. That's another thing for the Discord, because everyone's like talking about the release, and you're like all waiting at the same time for it to drop, and then everyone's rushing to get it, then everyone's posting that they got it or they didn't get it. So I really like that rush of things, for all things, tickets, Comic-Con. That's another one that we always get stressed about waiting for the tickets, but I really love that like rush of like waiting and then finally getting it at the last minute.
Nah, I came back to earth real quick because I got the Wolverine character, and then I want to say it was like a week later, Denise, we were trying to get you those Godzilla posters.
Oh yeah.
And man, them was gone. Like the clock hit, and it was sold out. What the fuck?
2 seconds. I got a
So
pin. I got the pin, the poster. Nope.
Oh man, the high and the low of collecting.
Yeah.
All right, Denise, how about you?
I am a curator and or a collector, and definitely comic books. But not so much the more recent stuff. The older back issues, like if we're in a comic convention, I feel like I'm one of I know other people do, but I'm one of the people that go to comic conventions for comic books. You can find me on the ends, over on the far ends, especially in San Diego, just going through back issues, looking for like those, like David said, the covers that are super unique. Especially the older comics because they're so weird. I've put her down like 15 times. She refuses. They're just interesting to me. Like right now, I am going to I'm probably any day now just gonna pull the trigger on Lois Lane 106, issue 106, and it's just her. She wanted to live as a black woman. So she stepped into a machine and she came out a black woman. So the whole comic is about her spending her day as a black woman. There was another one where I actually did buy this one at a comic convention. She adopted, I can't remember if the mother died or what happened, but a Native American baby. So she got to live the life taking care of a Native American baby and just seeing, what all came with that. So those really can't, for the day, I'm sure they thought it delivered a great message. But
did she have the baby strapped to her?
I want to say she did. Like it, or on the cover she did. And like Superman basically was like, you need to give that baby back. And she was like, no, like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But they are so interesting. They are comical. You pick up the cover and you're like, what is this going to be about? And the whole story is just madness. It's a product of its time.
Yep.
I'm sure they meant well. But it's just it's hilarious to me. So I collect a lot of the back issue stuff because of the themes that are in there, what's happening in there. Sometimes they're cringy, sometimes they're funny. Yeah, Batman living as there was a Hispanic Batman that again it's just ooh. Ooh.
Denise, I feel like you need to teach like a DEI class, like using all of these back issues as your basis here.
Well, remember there was one, I want to say we put it in a group chat somewhere. I can't remember where, but it was Batgirl, Batman, and Robin, and they were like, "There's 3 of them," and one of them was one of the henchmen was like, "There's only 2. One of them's a woman."
Oh man.
Stuff like that.
Boy.
I just like turning the page and seeing really weird. I'm like, someone thought this was a good idea to like draw it into a panel, ink it, and like just distribute it. Like I don't know.
Different times.
Yeah. So yeah, those really weird back issues of like really big superheroes. The issues that they probably just want to maybe just kind of hope they die in a fire somewhere. I like reading those.
So I actually want to take this opportunity because you've actually set up one of the questions that I had around fandoms and how they age and if they age well or not. And the example that I put in like our notes is as a Buffy fan and as part of the Buffy not doing so great. Buffy over time it has become complicated to be a fan of Buffy, and the fandom of Buffy is having to navigate that real time. That Joss Whedon comes out, the reaction of Firefly, like anything to do with Joss Whedon and all of the properties that we loved and still might ride for, like become this very complicated relationship that we have with the source material and also with each other because it really kind of split. Stay or do you go? Are there any other that you were a part of but you fucking noped out real quick? Are there any Any fandoms that you
Yeah.
think are kind of very fair weather or performative?
I think
Like,
more recently, Harry Potter and
well, yeah.
JK. I mean, that's definitely one where people have definitely
Yeah.
had to question, the last 10, 15 ish
I don't
years
think
of their lives, and now she's come out and said what she said. And I know a few like really diehard. I remember high school like diehard Harry Potter fans coming out and making comments like, "This is still my, it's still their thing. It's still part of their childhood, but it's really upsetting, what the creator has said." And I think that also can be said for a lot of artists and the person. Is like, where do you separate the person and the artist, and do you continue to support them?
Yeah.
I know Jonathan Majors is a big topic right now, and it's like, or even Ezra Miller, and
Oh yeah.
or I mean, even like Michael Jackson, or anyone that's done great things.
Wait a minute.
hold on.
I'm not saying that I'm separating them, but I'm just saying these are people who people have.
Michael Jackson. That's what I was.
Chris Brown, R. Kelly, like anyone that's done something.
I need you to go on record and
Bill Cosby. I'm just.
No, Mariah, you're just.
I'm just saying.
Take it
people
back.
have.
Like
people need to decide if they are going to separate the artist from the art or not.
I'm going to speak on behalf of Mariah, and we're striking Michael Jackson's name out of that.
No, I'm not going on record saying either or. I'm just saying when we talk about separating the art from the artist, these are the names that come to mind immediately.
Yeah. The art from the artist is definitely a big part of this. Can you be a fan or can't you be a fan? Can you be a fan of the artist and separate it from or not? I don't know. It's a tough topic. Okay, Denise and David
You brought
are
up Joss Whedon and
chewing
Buffy, so
on
I'm
their
just
tongue.
going with the examples here.
It's true. I did.
Jackson does not belong in this list.
But other people disagree. So that I'm just putting the names with the things that people may not be able to separate.
How do you think Chris Brown did that?
What?
Chris Brown, we can go to a Chris Brown concert like this week. Like the motherfucker is still making.
So are all of these people I just mentioned?
They are all.
But people still listen to the music and still like it and still like support it. People still watch Cosby Show and
that's where it goes. Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a shocking thing when all these allegations finally came out because everybody already fucking knew about it. It didn't stop him from touring back then. He was still making money hand over fist back then, and everybody knew he was a nasty motherfucker.
Yeah. Anyways,
not R. Kelly, not Mike.
Anyways,
I knew you weren't talking about
clarification. Yeah, R. Kelly. Yeah,
definitely. Stop bringing up Mike's name.
Sorry, the point was, Shauna, do you feel like community-wise you've been able to separate Joss Whedon and his shit from what you gained as a fan from the show?
Because don't you still do your sing-along at Comic-Con?
Yeah, I do. I love the sing-along. However, the numbers have drastically dwindled. It used to be a packed house.
Well, I mean, that was COVID
and now
too.
It's less.
Maybe COVID had it. Maybe it was COVID.
Maybe it could have. But the thing is, like,
people, they probably stay home for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The thing too is like it divides it like so you end up with a splintering. When the artist fucks around, the fandom feels a need to take a stand on it. And some people will double down and they will get very aggressive and defensive. And other people will try to find a middle path and really try to come to terms with, can I love this thing that formed me, that shaped me? Now I know with more information is an asshole, or do you just cut your loss? Now, with all the information that I have, I just have to say that I've moved on and I won't participate anymore. There's a lot of different ways that you do it. The root of the question is like, how are you all kind of wrestling with that? Do you all kind of wrestle with that? For me, with Buffy, since David, you asked so directly, I'll give you a direct answer. It's tough. Knowing what I know, when I watched Buffy the first time, there were certain things that never really settled, but I was such a fan that I kind of made excuses for it, and I kind of thought, oh, this is part of something bigger, or I thought feel icky, but maybe it's supposed to. And then later on, and I was also, when I was watching this all for the first time, I like my brain wasn't even fully formed is the other thing, right? I'm a kid. I'm in like grade 5, grade 6. Like this is airing when I'm pretty young. So as an adult on rewatches, I'm kind of coming to terms like, oh, this shaped some of the views that I have, and oh, this really shaped some of my philosophies, and am I okay with that and am I not, and do I need to grow past it? And then all of this stuff continues to come out about Joss, and it's like, yeah, I started to see this for in a new light, like, oh, that wasn't a metaphor for anything, that was just some bullshit. And I have to try to look at it with a little bit more clarity, and I personally, as a fan of and his other properties, have to now kind of say, okay, well, this is what it looks like in the harsh light of day, which is in fact the title of a Buffy episode. But I have to look at it like that, and I have to kind of come to terms with it, and I try to still enjoy it for what but I also don't make excuses for it like I used to. Does that kind of answer the question?
And masterful how you worked that in at the end with the the title of the show.
It's a really good episode of Buffy.
But I guess it's like, Mariah, weren't you like a really big Rick and Morty fan? Or am I making that up?
You're making that up.
Damn.
And she told you that before too, I think.
Huh?
I think Rick and Morty on her before. She was like, nah, that wasn't me.
No, it wasn't me.
Oh.
I've seen it, but I'm not like a fandom of Rick and Morty.
Oh. All right, well,
Mariah. Was.
Go ahead, David.
That was just like the most recent thing where I can think of. It's like,
I'm a big fan of the show.
Yeah, but like with the co-founder coming out, do you just go, it was just one guy out of two, and just keep it straight?
I mean, once I found out he had been away from the company for years anyway, I was like, okay, so it's like, it's not like he's involved with this thing that I love. He's a guy who was around for a bit and now he's doing other shit. So,
okay.
Yeah. Too close though, I would have been like, oh well, that was fun while it lasted, and I'd have moved on. But
all right, well, Denise, all of us have kind of been in the hot seat. How about you? Any fandoms you've had to really kind of grapple with?
No.
You have a clean record? You better pray. Keep praying.
Yeah, unless, well, that's the thing. I don't jump all into something like that. There's nothing I can't be fan of that.
Was pretty clean, huh? They.
What'd you say?
I said the New Kids on the Block was pretty clean. They didn't.
I mean, that was very short lived anyway. I can't think of anything where I'm like, oh man.
Wasn't a Wahlberg one of them?
I was gonna say Wahlberg's a racist. I'm pretty sure one of them is definitely racist.
That didn't crush me in any sort of way.
Wow.
I'm not going to tell you how to feel about it.
Once the next group came along, I was probably done with New Kids on the Block. Or when one of our members moved away because there was only 3 of us. That was it. I don't know. Nothing that comes to mind where I was crying when I found out news and had to burn clothes like people did with like Kyrie and when they found out Colin Kaepernick can burn and shit. I didn't know episodes like that. No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, no, I was like I said, it was a pretty even keel household, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
Nobody really went nuts over anything.
Okay. am having not to have to deal with that. I'm sure your time will come, though. I will say that.
Why would you put that on me?
Look, because that's part of being a fan, I feel like, at this point. In this point in the information age, I think that no matter what fandom you really belong to, at some point something comes out that makes you really look at what you're supporting. And honestly, if I'm thinking about it, that's not a bad thing for me. I think it's good to be to look at the things you love and be critical about them, and to be able to move forward and say, like, I love this or I don't love this, or I can at least look at it realistically and say these are the parts that I want to take with me and these are the parts that I can leave behind. I think that's part of the evolution of being a fan. It's kind of like being in any kind of manic relationship where you fall in love, you fall super hard, you overlook all faults, and then if you're trying to find a more mature relationship, you need to get a little bit more realistic about what you are putting your time and effort into. And is this healthy for me? Is this healthy for the people around me? Because there are plenty of people who fall into fandom so hard that they don't create any space for anything else in their life, and they end up being alienated or alienating themselves. So I think it's good for the growth to be able to think critically and look critically at what they love.
Yeah.
So I kind of do wish it for you, Denise. I'm sorry, I do.
No, I'm good. No, thank you.
That whole thing sounded like a lot. I don't want that.
Yeah, when she was like, man, like, going all in, I said, God damn.
I would have wished it on my enemy.
The mental capacity for any of that. I'm all right.
Nah.
I'm all right.
All right. Well,
I don't even think I have intention to fall in love with something for like that much. Like how you're up here, like in one of the episodes talking about the appendices and shit on one of those books. I'm like, there's no way. There is way too much TV out here in the world for me to focus on one little thing. I can't. I don't know how you do it. I tip my hat to you for doing that shit. I can't.
Yeah.
Everyone, she's talking about when we were talking about Rings of Power, and it was the appendices in Return of the King. If you're interested, just saying. I'm sorry, Mariah. I'll cut you off. Please go.
Game of Thrones. I didn't know what I was talking about.
I was so
more than one.
And the world needs people like you. I couldn't. I could. I've never read I don't think I've read like in the index was, oh, you can find this, and this. Mm-hmm. If I wasn't being graded, I didn't read that shit. And I love reading books. Once the story's over, I'm done. I'm not looking at the extra stuff. I might have missed some great shit in my life. I'll never know about it.
Fair enough. Mariah, what were you saying? I'm sorry, I was talking over you.
Oh, no. I was just saying, I think I have my foot in a lot of things, but not like deep like that. Like I know a lot of things about a lot of things, and I'm into a lot of things, and I'll read, just enough of a lot of things, but like writing my own stories and knitting hats and passing that, not that far into it.
We call those casual fans. We are casual fans.
Casual fans of everything.
Yeah.
We're casual fans of a lot of things.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Yep.
Not a bad thing. So
that is...
So I think then where I kind of wanted to take the conversation, casual fans of not a lot of things, if you're casual fans of a lot diehard staples in a fandom community of one, are there things about fandoms that deter you from becoming a part of that fandom? I know David said he was introverted, and absolutely a fair answer, but is there anything?
It's overwhelming.
It is. The fans, man. I remember one time, because I'm a history major, right? And I love Civil War. I've seen the Ken Burns documentary from start to finish, and that is a feat. I will walk down Civil War trails. I've driven to Gettysburg. Like, I love just reading about the Civil War, anything to do with the Civil War. I mentioned that to somebody one time, and this motherfucker put me on the spot like it was Jeopardy and just started asking me very direct Civil War questions. I'm like, what the fuck?
Gatekeeping.
David, what are you drinking?
Are you fucking kidding?
What is that?
He's graduated. He's leveled up.
To update, I'm out of White Claw, but I still have half a fucking Buzzball, and I'm not drinking that. So I have a bottle of
You only had one White Claw?
Yeah, I didn't know that one Buzzball was a 2 White Claw situation. I know that now, so
now he knows the math.
but yeah, this is a Calumet small batch 15 year.
Oh, that's right. You spin in your cup. I was like, why are you taking it to the
yeah,
head?
I almost poured it in the cup. But that bullet.
No.
Yeah, so I'm very nervous to say I'm a fan of anything. I love Star Wars. I have a lot of Star Wars shit. I love Star Wars. I will not tell a fan I love Star Wars because it'll turn into who is this and who is that? I don't read the interviews. I don't know. I don't watch the documentaries about how the shit's made. I just like watching the movie.
Yeah. No,
I like
totally
the little things that people make with it. I'm not like a diehard true like following people around the world fan of it.
I've not bought certain things. So I didn't want someone to be like, "Oh, you like this?" And I'm like, "No, I just really thought this shirt was cute, or I really just like this jacket, even though I know it's part of a bigger fandom. I just won't buy it, so then I won't like look like a fake fan. But I just bought it because I thought it was like cool."
And this does it. She'll walk out. She walks out. She'll go to the thrift store and just buy like oversized shirts, a bit like Georgetown, the Hoyas, or it was a Michigan shirt one time, and somebody looked at her and said, "Your shirt sucks." And she's like, "What's wrong with my shirt?" She doesn't realize he's probably like an Ohio State fan or something like that. She's walking around in a Michigan t-shirt.
The fans are brutal.
Well, I was gonna say,
like, they don't make it fun.
And I don't want to go on like down a whole rabbit hole here, but do you think that sometimes it's because you are a female fan that you face a lot more of gatekeeping? Because I definitely have felt that. Like, because I'm a woman, anytime I say I like this, somebody will come out of the woodwork and start quizzing me.
As I say, as a male fan who, it's weird with guys. Like, it's weird how guys just assume because you are also a guy that you're their same level of fucking dirtbag. I am not a fucking saint, but like, you gotta be a low bitch to. A lot of guys think that way. They'll just be like, she's a woman, so she doesn't know as much as I do about this, or I can't wait to expose you as a fake fan of other shit. Yeah, no, it's a lie, and I know that men do it disproportionately to women.
I can't say that I've had it personally happen to me. I feel like across the board, the same person that's quizzing me on the Civil War would have done it to the next person. Like I feel like if it was a man,
he was just a know-it-all about it.
He was just a know-it-all. I feel like where I have seen it happen to other women, and I've heard other women talk about it, is with anime. As a woman, I will not. I'm very particular about what I say when it comes to anime and who I say I like anime to, because I know it'll turn into a really big thing. So,
you have to like pass
as me being a woman.
You have to like pass some imaginary quiz that they have in their head to like.
Oh my god! I need to have every single one. I need to know who is stronger than who. I need to know timelines and things like that. And if I haven't seen one, or what's my top 3, and if my top 3 aren't their top 3, and it's just, as a woman, it's just, I already know, like, that's a fight I'm not gonna win if as a woman. Anime, I feel like that's the fandom where I'm like,
but that's a fight you'd have to have with a certain podcast that you like.
Yeah,
I feel like they'd be the type of niggas that do some shit like that.
I've heard it on air, them do it, but again, as a woman, I feel like in comic books and history, I don't feel like I get attacked as a woman. I just feel like they're the type to attack anybody. So,
yeah, I think a little bit too. Well, for me, like anxiety. Like I wore this Bob's Burger shirt to this event, and it has like all the characters. I've seen the movie, and I mean, I've seen every episode. I know a lot about Bob's Burger. Where this guy came up and he was like, kind of like, "Oh, you saw the movie?" And then was like, "Talk to me about the movie." And I was like, I feel like my brain was like, SpongeBob, the episode where they threw out his name and all the SpongeBobs are in his brain, like running around on fire. Like, and the guy was asking me these questions about the movie, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna zip my jacket up. Like, I know all the answers, and I was able to answer them, but I felt so on the spot and pressured because he was like really trying to talk about the movie and like, did you see the cameo of this person? And like, did you see this? And I was like, yep, seen it.
Did he seem like genuinely excited to?
He wasn't trying to be a dick about it. So that's why when I say like more like anxiety than like he was trying to like quiz me, but it was like still like I felt pressured to talk about this thing that I definitely know a lot about, but it was still like, I don't know. I wasn't prepared to just sit around and talk about it.
Yeah. Because they mean well. They're like what Sean has been talking about this whole time. They're trying to, you know, reach out and find other people in their community, and you're just like, dude, I don't want to fucking do this, man.
Yeah.
No idea what happened in episode 34, bro. I like the shirt and I like Bob's Burgers, but I don't.
Yeah, not looking to get into a whole thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that there are a lot. There is a fine line, I think, between somebody being just a part of an enthusiastic fandom, like, oh my god, you love Bob's Burgers, I love Bob. Let's talk only about Bob's Burgers for the next 45 minutes so that we can like connect on this very specific level. Yeah. But then the other end of that is, oh, you like Bob's Burgers? Well, I'm going to quiz you for the next 45 minutes to see if you meet my expectations and if you pass my test. That is completely arbitrary that I have decided because I am the best fan. Like, those are very, like, the Venn is pretty slim between where one begins and one ends, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It really is, it's the energy there. Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of people will do it unintentionally, just stuff to talk about. Like, I know I've met guys at work, and I've met guys at work who know a lot more about comic books than I do, and I know that because when we start talking, they'll like, I mean, friendly as fuck, but just start asking you questions like, yeah, you remember when so and so did this and this one? I was like,
nope.
Oh, I mean, well, what about this?
There are way too many comics. I can't.
But some people know them like that.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we were talking about an Abomination run, for the X-Men. I think I had no idea what he was talking about. He just kept trying to reach, like he kept trying to bring me in. I was like, nah, man, I'm a fucking moron, bro. Just stop.
You're not a moron. It's just, again, there's way too many runs in comics.
Yeah.
And not all of them are worth reading. So
yeah,
there's that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because Anissa, we were talking today, where there was a music artist. Everybody at her table, because we had an event at work. Everybody at her table was a fan of this artist. Well, I won't say everybody. It was a few people. And she wasn't.
Who's the artist?
I don't want to say it because I don't want people to be like, what? So she they immediately turn into, because I know this happens a lot. Like, if you're a fan of something and somebody's not, like, I feel like I've tried a few times, and I mean, I can try again. We'll see. I don't know. I cannot get into Harry Potter. I try. I've seen the first maybe 2 movies, and I like some of the stuff around it, but to sit and watch all of them and to like, I can't, man. It's a lot. But I know people are like, well, you haven't done it this way. You need to watch this, and you need to watch this, and you need to have this first, or listen to this song from this person or this album from this person. It's like, it's not going to happen. I can't make it happen.
That you don't like something, because they'll just rip you apart.
Man.
Well, it's again, it goes back to, like, there's 2 camps. There's the camp that's super aggressive and defensive that you don't like their thing. And then there's the other camp that's like, no, I want to bring you into the fold of something that means a lot to me. And I want to be able to share this experience with you. Like, it always seems like there's a spectrum of fans, and it's really hard to fall in the middle. Like, it seems with fandoms, you get one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I work with a guy who's also an Eagles fan, but he is an Eagles, I guess, fan with a capital F. Like I guess like what you would, like in more of the fandom thing. And it sucks because talking to him at work, he's like, oh yeah, man, you heard we did this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, yeah. And I walk away feeling like, man, do I even like this fucking team? Like, I know in my heart I do. I've been a Eagles fan since I was a little boy. Like, I know I love this team, but I don't know who our linebacker coach is. Why the fuck would I know that? Like, I don't know who our fourth string running back is. I have no fucking clue. I don't know our fucking punter's name. Why the fuck would I know my punter's name? Like, all this shit that he knows. And like I said, it's not a quiz because he's genuinely expecting me to know these things. Like, oh, you're an Eagles fan, so obviously the night crew, the night cleanup guys. You know who they are. Like, no, I don't fucking know.
Mhm.
I walk away from it feeling worse as a fan just because I understand that there are levels to it, and I am so far below.
And that kind of does that like make you feel like it makes you feel like you're never going to reach that level of fandom. So like, why even try?
Let
So
me
I
tell
feel
you
like
something.
that's probably why I've been stuck in this casual fan kind of coast. I've just coasted along. I'm like, I'm never going to reach this level of fandom that people have.
Have you thought about what's going to happen at AwesomeCon? Because I told myself, I was like, yo, if this application gets accepted, I'm going to have to talk about some nerd shit in a room full of niggas
A room full of nerds
who are full on nerds. So I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna get and I'm gonna just shut down. I don't know what I'm gonna do at that point, because I'm gonna try to say something about some superhero. He be like, well, actually, in 1972, he did this, this, and this. I'm like, oh well, I had 10 minutes of that, so that's it. With like, we just shut the whole fucking thing down at that point.
No, it's not happening.
So, can I ask my follow-up question? It's kind of a wild card question, but David, you set it up so well. We've been talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, the great. So, for you all, when you are trying to connect with people about things, what are you doing to kind of create, I don't want to say a safe space, but like an open space and where you can invite people to connect with you, and for you to connect with them that feels positive and in a way that you don't feel walking away, they know more than me at that level. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, how do you find that
I love seeing the joy in people like explain things. Like, I'm happy for people that are genuinely happy about knowing something, as long as you're not a dick about it.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing the passion on somebody's face as they're explaining something. So I'll say to them, no, tell me more. As long as I have the mental capacity to take it in. I'm like, yo, tell me, and it has to be a topic I'm also interested in. I can't just sit and listen to something. So if somebody has a really interesting fact about a Star Wars character or a director or something that happened in the movie, and they genuinely have a joy about sharing it and they're passionate about it, I'll listen to it. I mean, and that's one reason I love going to panels. I love hearing people talk, being nerdy about this thing that they are a fan of, and that they that they love so much. I like it. So as I'm taking something in and I'm allowing them to share their passion for something. So I think that's how I find my medium with it.
when it comes to the exchange of information for you to kind of create that, you are taking in information and encouraging them to talk about the thing that they love?
Yes.
Thank you. David, how about you? You had a thought too, I think.
No, I was gonna say I'm the same way. I enjoy. I guess what we differ is I enjoy people preaching their passions. I don't if I'm not interested in it, I think that your passion for it will kind of like it's easy to draw me in if you can be as interested as I would like to be in something. I'll at least give you my time to see if I'm into it. I know last year we were at AwesomeCon. I got caught in the hallway talking to this dude for like 20 minutes, him and his son, about Star Wars. And let me tell you something, I couldn't have given a fuck. But they were so interested in what they were saying. We had a conversation, I don't remember what it was about. I remember the conversation though. No fucking clue what we talked about. I know it was Star Wars. I was in, and then the conversation ended, and we had a great day. They got something they obviously need to get off of their chest, off of it, and I got to witness a class for 20 fucking minutes. So, sometimes it works out to where I can contribute. Most times I'm just happy to listen and catch somebody else's vibe about something they love.
Yeah, like you literally did that today in our group chat about the Scott Pilgrim. You literally were like, Shauna, I just want you to be excited about this, and excited so that when it comes time to talk about it, because we will, that we can all have.
They're all coming back to do their voices, like Chris Evans, everybody.
Everybody.
Single one.
Are they changing it so that girl ain't 15 years old?
Probably not. Probably not.
Nice child.
Because I used to love that movie, and I went back and watched it like a few months ago, and I said, I cannot believe I sat through this movie at least 20 times.
Problem. But man. I think so. That's a really good example of as you grow old, material changes, because at the time when it came out, everyone's like, Scott's totally the hero. But then you get to be in your 20s, 30s, and you're like, Scott is trash. And you realize that all of his friends the entire time around him.
I don't know why I didn't catch it.
Because you were a kid.
Shit for that in the movie.
Because you were
fam.
You're like, no.
This nigga's a predator.
Yeah.
In the movie, they consistently told him.
Yeah.
Tell him. But when you were that age, you didn't you made excuses for Scott. And then as you got older, you were like, no, there's no excuses for this. And you are more like, how did I not pick it up the first time that they are all telling him this is a problem? Yeah, like through the comics as well. Like the whole time they're like, you're a piece of trash.
No, it's not so much me. I'm trying to figure out. Because I'm in the audience. What was the point? And we can talk about this off air or whatever. Take me out of the picture. You wrote this thing, and everyone in the movie is saying you're trash. Like, you can't do. She's 15. What are you doing? Nobody was making excuses for him in the movie. No. So why was this a thing? That's all. That's the part that gets me as I watch it now.
Like, how was the movie made, or?
No, and we can talk about it later. That just threw me off.
Anyways,
we can talk about that later.
You're trying to ask how a pedophile.
It's
want to say.
It's part of the whole thing is that Scott is trash. Like, that's kind of like, he is not the hero of the story.
I just wish he was trash in a different way.
Okay, I hear you. He's trash in a lot of ways.
Right way. The whole movie is about her exes trying to keep her away from dirty dick Scott Pilgrim.
In the streets of Toronto.
He's out here fucking children. So they're like, yeah, you got to get away from this guy. And he's like, no, she's going to be mine. So he's really beating up all these good people.
Yeah. I mean, technically. But, I mean, the point remains. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
The devil's got hands. And he uses it for holding. Whoop. Walk hard.
What?
Oh, boy.
What? You're like mumbling. It's like something mumbled.
The audio's a little. It's okay.
I'm on a phone.
Yeah. It's okay.
All I heard someone was the devil has hands and he uses them for holding.
It's a line from Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. It was like,
oh.
No.
My God.
Okay. Well, now we gotta go.
Okay.
Now we all gotta go watch it. So we had two great responses, Denise and Dave. Let's kind of circle back a little bit. How are you creating kind of? And again, a safe space isn't the right word, but how are you creating kind of connections with people in a way, or how do you like to be interacted with as you to come into a fandom? Like, what's your take on that?
Maybe not to get me into one, but I really like teaching like people things. So I love when I meet someone who's hasn't seen something that I'm into or hasn't like collected or liked something I'm into, so that I can basically get on them to go watch it immediately, and like they can see my excitement. And
the person that was talking to you about your shirt.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about someone who has absolutely no idea. Like they've never seen the show, they've never seen the movie, they don't know what I'm talking about. Like my coworker right now, he doesn't really watch TV, so I like bring up like a show that I'm into just out of random, and then he'll like, oh no, I haven't seen it. I'm like, I know you haven't, so let me tell you about it. You need to go watch it right now. And then I'll like slate it, and then he'll like, okay, I'll put it on my list. So he probably has a list of things that he'll never go see, but I'm really excited to tell him about it, and I really hope that he does go watch these shows, and then we can talk about it together in the future once he has.
Wow. So, follow-up question: how, on the spectrum of being very welcoming, come to like the quiz show gatekeeper, how do you try to get on the good side of that spectrum about these things that you love? Like, how do you create that welcoming sense?
I think my excitement is the welcoming. I'm so excited about it. I want you to go watch it or see it or do it. And then I need you to go do it so that we can talk about it. So more like pressure. I think it's more pressure that I'm putting on you to go do it because I like it so much so we can talk about it. But I'm never going to quiz anyone. Like I don't like, if we like the same thing, I hate that. I hate when like, well, do you remember this thing or do you remember that thing? Like, no, I don't know. I just like the whole thing as it is. So I don't do the quiz thing, but more so I like to find the people who haven't seen the thing that I like so that I can pressure them into go seeing it, and then we can talk about it later. So I'm creating fandoms within myself and other people.
Okay.
I love all these answers. So I know that we don't do this regularly.
But wait, we have to stop though, because Denise has this look on her face. She doesn't believe me. So I need to know.
No, I no, that's the thing. I fully believe you. I can absolutely see you doing that. I am just like, you went from being casual fan to I'm going to search out for people who have never seen this thing, and I'm going to pressure them into watching it. That's not a casual fan.
Well, I'm casual about it. I just mean I'm not, like I said, I'm not writing poetry about it. I'm not writing my own script. I just want this person to watch this thing that I watched that I really liked. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Thin line.
It's not that you just want them to. You pressure them into watching it.
Pressure them to maybe, if they want to, go watch this thing that I also have watched, and then we can talk about it and create our own club.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
But you leave it at that, or is there a follow-up meeting?
There's a follow-up.
Oh, especially if you've committed and you said you're gonna go watch it, I'll give you a couple days and I'll circle back. See if you've watched it yet.
I just need to circle back on the conversation that we had on Monday. It is now Wednesday, and I need to know if you have watched at least 2 of those episodes you've committed to. I can see. Yep. I can see how these conversations roll out.
Yep.
So that was the look on my face, because I was like, how did you go from casual fan to shaking people down to watch TV shows?
I'm creating community, Denise. I'm creating a community.
Okay. So not casual.
Casual community. Okay. We talk about it between 8 and 5 at work. That's it.
Okay. What's the last show?
I love all of this.
Okay, so my coworker, he does not watch TV at all. And so I was recently talking about Black Mirror because a resident was doing something stupid, and I was like, oh, I wish I could rate my residents like people rate me. And then I started getting into an episode that they do the rating, and I'm like, oh, you've never seen Black Mirror, huh? He was like, no, and that's okay. Well, you got to go watch this show. And then I explained a bunch of episodes to him, and that it was on Netflix, and so I hope he goes to watch it.
You're rating people based on the things they've seen and haven't seen?
No. So we had a resident give us a 0 like on a survey, and I'm like, she was so difficult. I wish I could rate her as a terrible resident. And then there's an episode of Black Mirror where people are rating each other, and it kind of spiraled into this. And then I told him about the episode, and I told him about the show because he'd never seen it. So I told him that it's on Netflix. Go watch it.
Got it.
With like Bryce Howard, with like Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah,
it's a good episode. It gets dark. Well, it's Black.
Mariah, what's your one? What's your favorite one from Black Mirror?
Look at it.
I don't know. I don't know.
See,
My
she doesn't like
favorite
being
one?
quizzed.
Yeah, look at now I'm being put on the spot. Not now. See, this is what I don't like. See right here.
Doesn't like this part of it.
Now I have to think of an episode that I like. Wow, David.
It's one of the few shows I can talk with people in depth.
Wow, we're seeing it. We're seeing it live and in person happen on
live
air.
and in action.
But if you don't have an answer, we could just move on. I don't want to.
We're just gonna move on. See, exactly. Example of why I don't talk about the things that I like, because then I get pressured to ask a question like, which episode of the 100 episodes is your favorite? I don't know. I like them all.
Out the people who haven't seen it so that you're the top fan.
Yeah, but I like them all. As a cool answer because
but then David has also seen it, so he's on your level. So you're shutting that down. And you're going back to the people who've never seen it so that you can be the top. You're like the baby of the family too, right?
I'm only child.
You're an only child. Okay.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. She wants to create her own communities. She doesn't want to join one that's already existing. She wants to create her own. I respect that.
My own community. But also, like, again, the question, what's your favorite episode of Black Mirror? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I have to like take a moment, look up all the episodes, and then be like, oh, that's the one that I do really like. Because there's a lot of them going through my mind right now of like, okay, I like the one where like the two guys are playing video games. I like the one where they get really old, but they're like living in that like 80s world. You know, there's just like a lot of episodes. So I don't know. Well, what's your favorite?
She's getting defensive.
I don't remember the exact title.
Oh, okay, exactly.
It's the one where old boy from what was that movie? The movie where they have superpowers is Michael B. Jordan and the two white kids. Anyway, they have superpowers, but that kid in the episode was like looking at pictures of little girls and shit on his laptop.
Ooh.
Someone nailed him. And so he had, but you don't know he's doing all that like little kid shit until the end of the episode, because you spend the whole episode thinking he's a victim. Mm-hmm. Like it was just happenstance that these people said, "Yo, do this, you're gonna ruin your life." So he goes through all that shit, and then at the end, they send the stuff out anyway, and you find out that he was looking at pictures of little girls and shit. And then like right when you start figuring that shit out, fucking Radiohead kicks in. It's fucking beautiful.
You know what's funny is that comes back to what I was talking about earlier, where as a fan, you have that one album or that one episode or something. Because David, I had never seen Black Mirror before, and you told me to start with that episode. Yeah. So that's probably one of the few episodes I've seen, because you were like, you need to start with this episode. So like I have my anime and I'm trying to get you to watch anime, right? And I'm like, you have to start with this show. Like, don't start with these other ones, start with this one. So you have that one as a fan in your back pocket where you're like, oh, you don't know where to start with this one. Yeah,
that's my one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, have we concluded the demonstration portion of the episode? Straight Fandoms live.
Yep.
Yep.
After we all swore we didn't have one. Yes.
Try my fire is over.
Look.
But I can't really call it a fandom because, like I said, I'm not 100%. I don't remember the name of that episode. I know it's Dance something. I don't remember his name. Like that stuff, I feel like if I talk too much about it, I'll run into people asking me those questions.
Yeah. Like you said at the top of the episode, though, it's getting Denise to watch it so that you can talk about. And so the name of the episode, the director of the episode, the soundtrack of the episode, that's all kind of like facets of being like a curatorial fan, a collector fan. So you can do that, but that's like a part of the fandom is bringing people into it so you can have conversations where you can say that episode was the fucking best. I loved it. This is why. And people can come in and say yes or no. So I love that.
Hey, my bad. There's a chance I may have spoiled an episode of Black Mirror for you.
Man, get out of here. That thing is old.
It's been like 5 fucking years. I feel like it's okay.
Yeah, I think the statute of limitations is passed. Yes. So we haven't been doing this consistently, but since this is an episode on fandom, I think this is an appropriate time to give everybody a chance to talk about what fandom they are a part of right now, what they want to engage with, what you have been engaging with, what has been for you as a fan the past few days. I don't care.
I'll go. Mine's pretty concrete. So I recently got two of my best friends to start playing Destiny 2 with me. But that happened at the same time all of my fatherly duties have kicked in, so I don't get a chance to fucking play anymore. So I got both of them into it, and now I'm never fucking online, so I feel like a piece of shit about that. But also I'm super looking forward to we talked about it earlier, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to Flash. And as far as like communities go, I know a lot of people that are going to be getting Diablo 4, so I'm really looking forward to that.
I
think.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say I think it's gonna be a fucking amazing game, and I didn't do the beta because, like I said, I don't have the fucking time right now. But I didn't need to because I already know I'm getting the game. So
yeah, I was just gonna follow up, David. Destiny 2, that's the game. Like, speaking of fandom, Lance Reddick, and he was in Destiny 2. He is a big character of, and all the fans in game got together and have been trying to like hold tributes to him.
yeah, he was playing Commander Zavala in the game. They said like the season of Defiance was the season that just like that storyline just ended on Tuesday. And I'm not gonna say nothing about it because maybe up to this point you haven't played it yet, and I'm not gonna fucking ruin it for you. But yeah, he played a lot into this season, and I think they said they had a lot already recorded of him up to the end of this seasonal run, leading up to Final Shape next year. Mm-hmm. So he's still at least going to be in the game for a little bit.
Yeah, he's also a main character really in the Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West that's on, and like that character's modeled after him. It looks
yeah.
I'm curious to see how they'll pay tribute to him or how they'll cast that character.
Well, so they did the same thing with Vox Machina because he plays that that dragon, the main bad guy in the second season of that, and that was supposed to roll into the third season. So I don't know if they already did the voice for that or if they're just gonna have to find somebody else. But yeah, he was an amazing. Love that guy to death.
Yeah, big loss for a lot of fandoms.
Yeah.
Well, Denise, follow that up. What are you looking forward to these days?
I mean, I don't know. Comic convention is coming back this year, so got a few coming up. I need to catalog the comics that I bought from last year's conventions so that when I go out this year, I'm not buying repeats. I can just open up my app real quick and say, do I have this or do I need this? Because I spend a lot of money on comics otherwise if I just go in and not have a plan. So
an app that tells you which ones you have.
Yeah, I have an app. I literally have to go. I mean, I scan them in, but it'll scan in the issue. It'll keep it in there for me, so that way when I'm out, I can say, do I need this one or do I have this one? Huh?
What's the name of the app?
I think it's COZ Comics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, COZ Comics.
I didn't know that was the thing.
I didn't either.
Catalog them all, because otherwise I was doing it by Excel at first, and I was like, but I can't take that with me. I was like, there has to be a way for me to take my catalog with me, and that's how I do it.
You don't have Excel on your phone.
What'd you say?
I said I find it weird that you don't have Excel on your phone.
I don't need it on my phone. I don't want it on my phone.
Okay.
Nope. This way is much easier.
Yeah, I just take a picture of my bookshelf. That sounds like a much better system than zooming into my picture of my
if they were
bookshelf.
books, I could, but yeah, they're comics, so I can't.
Right.
So yeah.
I like the trade paperbacks that have like 5 in them. That's kind of how I go about it. But if you're looking for single issues, that you can't have those.
Yeah, the back issues that I get, I can't get in trade. Otherwise, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, Mariah, educate us. What are you loving these days?
Um, yeah, not really anything new. I guess two shows that I watched that I might little deep dive a little more on is Severance. I finally watched it a couple weeks ago, and man, I'm probably gonna rewatch it and then maybe like read in a little bit more about it because I really, really enjoyed it. And then the other one, Ted Lasso, is back, and I've been watching it. Like TikToks have come across of like just how brilliant the writers are and the way that they do everything. So I might join a couple Ted Lasso chats because that's just a fun show, and it's got to be a fun fandom. I mean, I've seen a few TikToks, I've seen a few little Discord, Facebook group things, and I mean, it's all good times. There's even like a Ted Lasso podcast I think I've seen come across my TikTok as well that I'll probably follow and listen along to. But besides that, not really into anything at the moment, like new, I guess.
I love that. Working in HR, Ted Lasso comes up a lot. I have not met a does not love Ted Lasso. I'm just gonna say that. But Denise and David have a lot to say about Severance. I can see them just trying.
It's just swear to God, I will
Johnny, you
just
already know what we have to say
I
about
will
it.
just Venmo you the $6.
Everybody's seen Severance but me, Shauna.
Just I will give you just get a month of Apple TV.
You get
Free
3 months
trial.
free. A whole
Trial.
3 months.
You can pay for it. At this point, it's on you.
Everybody's seen it with me.
You get 3 months free. It's what, 10 episodes? You can do this.
You can do
I'm
it.
in season 2.
You can do it, Denise.
Season 2 starts in like September. Well,
Oh.
Look, I might as well wait for season 2 at this point.
What's up?
I might as well just wait for season 2 at this point.
No, because at that point, everybody's just going to spoil season 1 for you.
I don't know.
So you have to watch.
Go ahead, David. David
You get
feels passionately.
at this point.
Shauna,
at this point, you want to watch it or you don't, but you get 3 months free, according to Mariah. So
I'm not saving you from
Do
this, Denise.
you pay for Apple Music like on your phone?
No.
Oh, okay. It's usually just a bundle. You can get both.
I'm a Spotify girl.
Oh.
Yep. I can't save you from David on this one. I'm on. Just watch the show so that we can all talk about it.
Just get your own Apple TV. So he finally said it.
Free trial.
Like, I'll help you out. Now he's like, look, I don't care anymore. You're on your own.
I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna put the stuff in. I'm gonna leave
every week.
And then the next day something weird's gonna happen like it did last time when I set it up and you watch half an episode, and then you're like, oh yeah, I don't know, it just signed me out. I don't know why it did that. But when it happens again, I gotta drive 40 minutes back to your house to do it. I don't want to do all that.
Shauna, what do you these days?
Man, when fans attack.
Back. If you haven't watched it, if you haven't listened to that episode, it's a special happy hour episode where Denise and I discuss toxic fandoms or when fandoms bullied them creatively. What am I doing? So obviously Ted Lasso. Obviously. We're watching The Mandalorian, which is great. I love to see Bo-Katan in there because I love Katie Sackhoff. I met her at a convention in Toronto. She made such an impression on me in like the 2 minutes she was. I love that for her. And Shadow and Bone season 2. So Lee Bardugo wrote this like quote unquote Grisha verse. That's kind of what they call the fandom. They call the books. So season 2 just dropped on Netflix. So I am working my way through that, and I'm overall enjoying it. It is moving very fast. It's actually kind of hard to go from shows like The Last of Us or Mandalorian, like all these shows that painstakingly burn and pace themselves through. This season, Bone is taking plots from all over these like 7 books and just pop, 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 pop. Like it's firing on all cylinders. Shit is happening at all times. It's like can't take my. And I'm like, this wasn't supposed to happen until like the 7th book, but it's happening now, and I'm only 4 episodes in, so it's kind of wild. But that's what I've been doing while I've been knitting on the couch.
Okay.
Yep.
What are you knitting?
A baby blanket that I started in October for just right on time for me.
It's gonna be warm as shit outside.
It is. It really is. Oh God. I don't even know why I'm gonna finish it at this point. It's so I am the worst concept of time.
Yeah, I mean, still, at the end of the day, it's a free blanket. So
Right? Made with love. While I watch my
there you go.
Well, Mariah, where can they find us? Where can our fans find us?
You can find us on TikTok and Instagram and maybe Twitter sometimes. And don't really look to Facebook. I know I said I would update it. That hasn't really happened, but we are there if that's your choice. But yeah, make sure that if you're listening to this, like you made it this far, that you're following us on the socials. So that way you can watch this live as well, because I think the live has a few things that this recording might not have. And watching, I think, our reactions versus just listening to us might get you more engaged into what we're talking about as well.
Yeah, be part of our fandom. Come and engage with us. That's what we're here for. Mariah's here to educate. Denise and David are here to listen. We're all here for it.
Yeah.
All right. Joining us, and we'll see you next time with the slides.
Oh no, that was my exit would have been more. When I said yeah, it was real like yeah, but I didn't know it was over. Damn it.
We're still recording, so
Good night, everybody. No, we're done. No.